So coming up in this video, I go looking for a red-rumped swallow in Hampshire. I then travel to Brownsea Island to try and find some roseate terns that had been seen the day before. I then go and look for an osprey in Dorset. Finally, I look for an American wader in Berkshire. Welcome to another video about my UK big year. Currently it's May the 11th, and I'm on 238 species, and I'm just about to go off and see if I can find a couple more. So the first stop in this video is Titchfield Haven, a place I've been a few times before this year already. And yesterday a red-rumped swallow was seen, which would be the first time I've ever seen this bird in the UK, if I can find it. However, there is bad news. Someone's been here this morning and the report is that it's not been seen today. So chances looking slim, but I've come here anyway, so I might as well take a look. Well, I thought my chances of this bird were going to be low. I've just heard from a friend of mine who's here, been on site this morning, that a red-rumped swallow in Hampshire has never been seen 2 days in a row. And there's also multiple birders here looking for it, and no one's seen it. So I'd say the chances are pretty close to zero, but I'm still going to take a look. So here's some hirundines up here. None of them appear to be red-rumped swallows, but lots of house martins and swallows. And then I've also found this breeding plumage little gull, which is cool, something I don't see very often. I've only seen them at distance this year in this plumage, so it's really nice to just have one sitting on the water like this. Yeah, the more I speak to people, the more it sounds like red-rumped swallow is definitely off the cards. Well, I've been here an hour, just over an hour, and there's not been any red-rumped swallows. Quite a few hirundines up there, but yeah, nothing that I can turn into a red-rumped swallow. Lots of house martins, swallows, and then swifts above them. So yeah, I might have to think about leaving fairly shortly. But just before I do, I'm just going to walk on a little bit further, closer to the bird where the bird was actually reported. The reason why I've been sort of hanging back here is because this is where most of the hirundines have been. So I thought it would probably be with them. But I haven't actually walked to the spot where this bird was actually seen. So why not take a walk down there, and you never know what else is around. Good to see that little gull though, that was good. Well, here's one for you. See if you can spot the grey heron here. Yeah, let me know in the comments if you do find it. As there's no red-rumped swallows to be looking at, I thought I might as well play some other fun games. Well, I don't know how well this will come out, but here's a buzzard with carrying something. It looks like a rat or something with a long tail hanging, which is something you don't see every day. And there's a marsh harrier up here too that I'll try and get a video of. So yeah, a few birds of prey starting to come about. So just walking past, and some non-birders just said, "Oh, have you seen anything?" I said, "No, I was here for a red-rumped swallow." They said, "Oh, 2 men ahead have refound it." So I'm going to rush off and see if I can get this thing. Well, I've been here for another 45 minutes searching through all the hirundines. I don't know. I did speak to the guy who saw it. Said that he identified it more by shape than the rump, which I would have thought would have been quite difficult. So I'm not, I don't know. But there was 30 birders here this morning, and then I've been here for a total of 3 hours looking for this. I feel like I've gone through the majority of birds. Definitely could be something that I've missed. But yeah, I think I'm going to call it there and head off. Well, it's May the 15th and things are getting a little bit harder now. Definitely finding it harder to get ticks. I'm on 239 species, and as you can see from the red-rumped swallow that I went out for yesterday, just finding ticks is going to be tough. So today I'm actually going to a spot that's just a nice place. There are potential ticks there. There's been an osprey around Poole Harbour, and there was some roseate terns seen yesterday that probably aren't going to hang around. I'm going to Brownsea Island, which kind of covers both of those spots for osprey and roseate tern, to see what I can turn up. It's a nice sunny day, although it's freezing cold. And yeah, let's just see what I can find. Do some like chilled birding for a change, and hopefully add a tick or two as well. I think both of those are probably on the difficult list. Well, I'm here now, just looking over to Brownsea Island, trying to look at all the terns possible. Now there are quite a lot of terns out here, common and sandwich terns to go through. So a roseate tern might be quite difficult to pick out, but one was seen here last night and 4 were seen here yesterday. So I'll just keep doing my best and see what I can find. Nice little crow here, having a good munch on this whole loaf of bread. Someone's getting fed. This guy's making me hungry. So a roseate tern is quite short-winged for a tern, long-tailed, pale-backed, and typically has a almost black bill, unlike the common terns. So there are a few things to look out for, but obviously if you're looking at distance, it's going to be tricky. So whether I go to Brownsea Island today or just look from this spot here is still something I'm considering. I think this black-headed gull wants a bit of bread too. It's just been fighting that crow. Well, I couldn't find these birds looking over to Brownsea Island, so I thought I'd just go on Brownsea Island, see if that helps. So here we go. Right, so here I am on Brownsea Island looking for roseate tern. I've only ever seen one roseate tern in Britain before, so it'll be quite a special bird again. Been doing a little bit of swatting up, as you saw earlier, on the differences between the terns, because there are a lot of terns here that I'm going to need to go through in order to find this bird. And of course, as always, it might not be here anymore. They were seen yesterday, so it doesn't mean any sightings have been seen today, but I'm on the first ferry to Brownsea Island and I'm going to do everything I can to try and find it. So even if I don't get any ticks today, Brownsea Island is just such an amazing place to be. It's particularly good for bird photography, so hopefully I'm actually going to get some more bird footage than I usually do in these videos. Fingers crossed anyway. So this first hide, it's called the avocet hide, so I'm going to have a look in here first, and the next one is the tern hide. So I'm here in the hide now, and supposedly there's also roseate tern seen on Wednesday, so 2 days ago as well. So that's 2 days of records of roseate tern. I've looked through loads of terns and I can't find any, but I'll keep trying. So just sitting in this avocet hide here was really cool. I mean, you get close views if you're a photographer, loads of different birds. Yeah, lots of good views of the black-tailed godwit, black-headed gulls, common terns, sandwich terns, and right in the background too you've got these greater black-backed gulls, and supposedly they've been predating on some of the tern eggs, which is a real shame. That's why you've got both the common terns and the sandwich terns really close to each other. Now I was obviously here looking for a roseate tern, which looks a little bit like a common tern with a longer bill, longer tail, more small-bodied and quite pale, and there have been some dark-billed common terns out here which caused a little bit of confusion, but they're just too dark-backed and don't really look any different in size or shape to the other common terns. So they're just common terns with dark bills, unfortunately. And I did 2 hours in that hide and no sign of the roseate tern. I'm going to go up to the Turnhide now. Supposedly this isn't where the roseate terns have been seen from, because the greater black-backed gulls have been scaring off the terns in this area. There's less terns here, but there's still a few spots which I haven't looked at, and I feel like I need to do a thorough look everywhere to really rule out that there are no roseate terns here. Well, here I am in the hide, and there are not many terns here, but there are some really close ones, which is really cool to see. And there's some greater black-backed gulls doing their business over there. And just to the left of me as well is a whole area of birds, including some terns, but mainly gulls, which I haven't been able to look at. So let's have a little look through those and see what I can find. It's just amazing how close you get to these birds though from inside these hides. We are so close. It's just incredible. Just take a look out here. Yeah, really close. If you're a bird photographer, I really couldn't recommend Brownsea Island enough. Well, ironically, here at the Turnhide, got better views of avocets, but at the avocet hide, you got better views of terns, which kind of makes no sense, but there you go. Heading back to the ferry now. Unfortunately, this is another miss, so that's the second miss of this video. Hopefully that's not a theme, and I'll get something at some point. But yeah, it's been an amazing place to be with loads of cool birds, and the views you get here is just exceptional. So I may not have roseate tern on the list, but I've had a brilliant day. Well, Brownsea Island, always a brilliant place to go, particularly if you want to get some bird photography. But I'm off to see if I can actually find a tick in this video and look for an osprey over Poole Harbour. So let's see if we can find that one. Well, I may not have timed this brilliantly with the weather, but I am here at Lightship Fields. It's raining and it's actually hailing slightly as well. So yeah, this doesn't sound fun, but I am going to be looking for an osprey. That's the target here. I'm sort of relying on this being a shower, but at the moment it seems like rather a long shower. And ironically, last time I was here, earlier in the year, it just started raining as I got here as well, and didn't see an osprey. Hopefully my fortunes will change. Well, I've just bumped into a bird watcher who has seen an osprey, but he says it's gone. So yeah, let's see if I can find one. So I'm here now at the place where the osprey was seen with the guy who actually saw it, and he reckons I missed it by less than 5 minutes. So I'm definitely not having the best run of luck yet. So I'm going to give myself 20 minutes, see if I can see this osprey. There is a few other things out here though, some geese, some gulls, some young swans, which is nice to see, and it's quite a pleasant place to just stand and watch, despite there being a bit of rain around. Well, what was quite cool is 6 whimbrel did fly in, so that was nice, although the camera's struggling to pick those up. It's a shame. But yeah, I think overall the year is getting harder, and these dips are just an example of that. It's a shame because this one was probably the slightly easier one out of the birds that I was going for today. At least the rain stopped. But yeah, that's it for today, and we'll see what we get tomorrow. So off on another mission to try and get a tick for this video. There's been a petrel sandpiper seen at Theale Gravel Pits in Berkshire, so hopefully this time I don't miss again. Well, I'm back here at Theale Gravel Pits where I was a couple of weeks ago with Joe Scory, and this is the spot where petrel sandpiper has been seen, which is an American species. Probably the most common American bird that we see in Britain, but I haven't got it on my year list, so that's what we're going to do, try and see if we can find it. So this is something I haven't seen that often, black-headed gulls just flying along this canal, actually trying to catch insects in the air, and also off the top of the water. So this might happen more frequently than I've seen, but for me it's not something I've paid attention to or seen before. That's really cool to watch. Awesome. So we're here on site, bearing in mind this petrel sandpiper was seen this morning and it's not here. Not another dip, that would be 4 in a row. That would be a shame. I mean, we've only been here 5 minutes on the actual spot where I can see the islands where this bird was reported. And of course, there is the other side of the island as well. It was reported on the north side of these islands out here. We can't see the south side from here, so maybe that's something to consider. If they're viewable, I'd have to look that up. Yeah, I don't think we're going to find this, which is a shame. And I've just checked bird guides, and it says that this bird was seen just over an hour ago. So not just this morning, because it's now after lunch, or it's not even 1 o'clock, and it was seen just before 12. You'd think it should be here unless we're really unlucky, but I have been quite unlucky this week. So maybe it's happening again, or maybe I just need to be patient and wait for it to view. Got it! Yes, awesome! Petrel sandpiper is on the list. Fantastic! I've finally broken the duck of this week. It feels good, it really does. I was missing ticking birds. Oh man, I thought we were going to miss it again. I really did. We've been here quite a while, but when I saw that it had been reported not that long ago, so like about an hour ago, I thought we've got to be in with a chance. It's actually not the island it was reported on, it's another island to the right, and it was hanging around with a ring plover. I saw the ring plover first, and that gave me a little bit of hope, thinking, you know what, if I hadn't seen a ring plover the whole time I've been here and that's just appeared, maybe the peck sand will be hanging around with that or in a similar place, or maybe it just proves that, you know, these birds are quite distant. I could have missed it. But it really does feel, after quite a long slog this week of missing birds, to get one, it just makes it even better, if that makes sense. You know, all those losses have contributed to the way that I feel now about seeing this bird. And it's not a massively rare bird, but it is an American vagrant. You know, how many have I seen? About, 5 or 6 in the country before, quite a lot in other parts of the world. But yeah, still a cool bird to see. So yeah, distant shots of it maybe, but petrel sandpiper's on the list, and that is 240 species for the year. Quite close to the target that I set out at the beginning of 245 species, which was the same as my New Zealand big year that I did in 2021. So getting close. Well, I don't think it's too hard to think about what the best bird in this video is, because obviously with all the misses it only leaves one option. But while that petrel sandpiper might be distant, I still think it's a cool bird to see. Any American bird is worth seeing in this country. So yeah, petrel sandpiper wins bird of the video.